Welcome to Therapy Unplugged, the podcast where two therapists offer insights to the real-life issues we all experience. We are your hosts, Sarah Benoit and Meaghan McCullough.
Hello, listeners, and welcome. It is Meaghan here. And today I'm doing another brief bonus episode that goes along with our recent podcast on taking accountability. So in our previous full podcast, Sarah and I talked about this idea of accountability being a process for taking responsibility about how we feel, taking responsibility for how we act and behave, and taking responsibility for the thoughts that we think. So one way that we can begin to take accountability is by this process that I've mentioned several times before, a process of self-inquiry. So self-inquiry is an empowering process that can build confidence within yourself. It can reduce conflict that you have with others. Generally, it can just help you to feel more centered and at ease with your life. And oftentimes, as human beings, I think that it's easy for us to get into the habit of blaming other people or perhaps blaming outside circumstances for our unhappiness. Or for our dissatisfaction in our lives. And this practice really gives us a chance to shift the idea that our unhappiness or dissatisfaction or anger or whatever negative emotion you want to put there, that we step away from this idea that it's outside circumstances or people that are causing us to feel that way, and we begin to accept that no matter what is going on around us, we still have the choice as to how we respond. And when we begin to respond differently, and we take the blame off of the situation or off of the other person, it can be a real opportunity for self-growth and for empowerment. So what I would like you to do now as we begin this practice is just to take in 3 deep centering breaths. And as you breathe in, you can say to yourself, breathing in, I am becoming more and more relaxed. And breathing out, I am open to releasing my negative thoughts and feeling better. Breathing in, I am becoming more and more relaxed. And breathing out, I am open to releasing my negative thoughts. So allow time to do this at least 3 times. And perhaps you can also just begin to feel a sensation or a wave of relaxation, just sort of entering the crown of your head and allowing this feeling of relaxation to move throughout your whole body. And as you begin to feel like you're just settling into a slightly more relaxed state, I would like you to bring into your mind a situation, or perhaps it's a specific person, in which you feel conflict or tension. Perhaps you feel some anger or sadness or even fear. So just pick a situation in which you still have some unresolved feelings, where you're still kind of pointing at this person or this situation saying, you did this, you made me feel this way. So now, once you have identified that person or situation, the next thing I would like you to do is just ask yourself, how do I wish this person or this situation was different? What would this person need to do or not do for me to feel better? And next, I'd like you to sincerely ask yourself, do I have control over making this person behave differently? Do I have control over making this person say something to me? Do I have control over the reality of this situation? And if you're really doing this process of self-inquiry, most likely you will come to the answer of no. Right? I do not have control over how this other person is acting. So now I'd like you to ask a very similar question with one big difference. Do I have control over how I am feeling about this person? Do I have control over how I am feeling and responding to this situation? Again, if you're really taking the time to dive deep into this self-inquiry, most likely your answer will be yes. So if the answer is yes, how can I shift my focus from thinking about all of the horrible things that this other person is doing? How can I shift my energy away from that person, away from that situation, and instead focus the energy back onto myself? How might I be able to change my behavior? How might I be able to see this situation differently? What other perspective could I take that might cause me a little more satisfaction and a little less discontent? What is my part? What is my portion of this situation that I can take accountability for? These may seem simple, but they are very powerful questions. And again, the idea here is to start to shift our thinking away from blaming outside circumstances, which is disempowering, to seeing that if we want true change, if we want to feel lighter, happier, more at ease, more peaceful, we need to shift away from outside circumstances and people and instead turn within. I promise there is infinite power in this practice, but it's not easy. So take your time with it, be gentle with yourself, and you will start to see some changes. Thank you for listening, and take good care.
If you want to share your thoughts or ideas with us, you can email us at therapyunpluggedpodcast@proton.me. Until next time, be sure to subscribe to Therapy Unplugged on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcasts.